You know, there are stories that exist in the cracks of reality, whispers of a book so forbidden it doesn't just tell history, it rewrites the history of the gods themselves. Well, today we're prying that book open. We are going to decode the secret history of the universe as told by the Lost Codex. So let's start with a question, just to get our heads in the right space. What if everything you know about mythology is wrong? What if the gods you recognize, they aren't the original sound? They're just the faint, distorted echo of a much louder, much more monstrous scream. All right, here's our game plan for navigating this hidden text. We're going to uncover the cosmic history they don't want you to know, then meet the real original gods, the monsters. We'll see how they literally rotted into the folklore we know, and then witness the birth of a terrifying cyborg deity. And finally, we'll get to the endgame, a plan to build a brand new totalitarian reality. So this Codex of the Five Worlds, it lays out this hidden ladder of divinity. But here's the twist. This isn't a story about progress or enlightenment. No, this is a brutal, brutal story about something magnificent shattering, devolving, and then a monstrous ambition to claw back power by totally perverting existence itself. This timeline really shows you the whole twisted journey. It all starts with World 1, the Monstrum Pantheon, the age of true monsters. That collapses into World 2, the Era of Decayed Divinity. Out of that rot comes World 3, this horrific cyborg god. And what's its plan? To completely ignore and bypass World 4, our current reality, and force the creation of a purely theoretical fifth world. You see, this isn't evolution. It's a hostile takeover of reality. So let's go back to the beginning, the real beginning. Before Zeus, before Odin, before any god you've ever heard of, there was the first world. And its rulers, they weren't sitting on golden thrones. They were raw, universal ideas given monstrous flesh. They were the first gods, and they were absolutely terrifying. And this is what I find so brilliant. It reframes our classic horror icons as the original divine beings. So, the Dracula Prime wasn't just a vampire. It was the god of blood and eternal life through consumption. The wolf god wasn't a werewolf. It was the literal god of pure, uncontrollable rage and nature. And the Promethean, think Frankenstein's monster, was divinity's first arrogant attempt at creating artificial life. These weren't just creatures. They were walking, breathing universal truths. So what powered these primal gods? Not belief, not worship, but this, the Omega Imprint. The best way to think about it is like the raw source code of reality before any patches or safety features were installed. Just pure, chaotic, pre-universal energy that could create or destroy anything on a whim. This wasn't magic as we know it. It was the universe's screaming, untamed subconscious. But an age that burns that bright can't last, right? The first world shattered, and its incredible power didn't just disappear, it degraded. And that's the real tragedy here, the fall from this raw, conceptual godhood into something smaller, weaker, something you'd find in a fairy tale. Okay, to really get this, let's use an analogy. Imagine the power of the first world, that Omega Imprint, was a single, pure, deafening musical chord, a sound so perfect and overwhelming it defined all of reality. Now, when the first world shattered, it was like that perfect chord was played in a massive canyon. The second world is the echo. It's distorted, it's quieter, it's fragmented. The original power is still in there, somewhere, but it's just a pale, corrupted imitation of what it once was. And you can see how these broken echoes started showing up. Some of the bigger fragments became the noble but much less powerful gods of Celtic and Germanic myths. But in the smog-choked alleys of industrial Britain, that echo soured into something else, urban horrors. Get this, in this cosmology, Jack the Ripper wasn't just a man. He was the ghoul king, a petty god of the unsolved. Springhill Jack became a demon that literally embodied the violent clash between old-world magic and new-world machines. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The majestic, raw power of the first world was this incredible apex predator. It died. In the second world, it's all the teeming lesser life, the bacteria and fungi that grows on its corpse. It's still life, sure, but it completely lacks the sublime terror of the original. But from that decaying world, something totally new, something unnatural started to stir. Not a god born from myth or nature, but an aberration. A monster built from stolen parts and cosmic arrogance. This is the birth of the third world. And the way it happens is just wild. It starts when Big Ben, which is actually a chronal reaper, a time-eating machine, absorbs a piece of discarded alien tech from the new gods and wakes up. This steampunk horror then goes on a cosmic crime spree. It steals a Brainiac frame for its brain and Mobius chair tech for cosmic travel. But it's just a machine. It needs a soul. It finds the perfect host in a god-tier being named Faustus and fuses the three things together: machine, soul, and primordial chaos. The result of this unholy fusion is what the Codex calls the completed old gods. Think about that. Beings that are part perfect magic, part perfect science. And the scariest part? They figured out how to use a corrupted version of that original Omega power. They weaponized it into something called the Omega Sanction, an attack that doesn't just kill you, it traps you in an endless, looping nightmare of mechanical, synthetic terror. So you have to ask, why? Why go to all this trouble to build this cyborg god? Well, this is where we get to the terrifying endgame. Because the goal was never just about getting power. It's about the complete and total annihilation of reality as we know it and rewriting it according to a single monstrous will. This right here lays out the cosmic war that's being fought in secret. The obstacle is the fourth world. That's the realm of the established new gods, the current cosmic order. But the goal of Faustus isn't to conquer them, it's to erase them. He wants to bypass their reality completely and forge a fifth world, what the text calls an Übermensch reality. And let's be clear, this is no paradise. It's a totalitarian singularity, a universe where every single thing is just a puppet for one single monstrous will. To really wrap your head around just how insane this plan is, let's use one last analogy. Let's start with the power source. The first world, the home of those original monster gods, that is the raw primal magma deep under the Earth's crust, pure chaotic elemental power. Now the third world, that's Faustus, this new cyborg god, is a massive sentient machine attacking the city on the surface. It's cold, it's calculated, it represents perfect, unstoppable science.
And here's the terrifying goal. The plan is for the machine to drill down, completely ignoring the city, that's the fourth world, and plug directly into that primal magma. It wants to fuse perfect technology with the most ancient, most chaotic power in all of existence.
And this is it. The final, chilling vision of the fifth world. To use that unholy fusion of machine and magma to build an entirely new reality. A volcanic fortress, right on top of the rubble of everything that came before. A single monstrous monument built from the ashes of the old gods. Which of course leaves us with one final haunting question. If the very bedrock of your universe, the source of all divinity, is monstrous and chaotic, well then maybe the ultimate form of evolution isn't enlightenment or freedom. Maybe it's just a more efficient, more perfect, more absolute form of tyranny.